Okay, I have a prediction. You know I don't do predictions. However, what I predict, and I'll share with you today because I got something very clear, is not specifics. It is more of movements, because you and I create the specifics. My specifics are going to be different than yours because we have individual journeys and choices, right? So somebody can say, oh my gosh, things are horrible, and somebody else say, no, it's amazing. And so what we do within those challenges, our responses, contribute to the collective, and that's all just frequencies. It's not this or that, it's a frequency, and that's it. I'm going to explain this because I do have a prediction, and actually I'm going to share with you what I feel is going on right now very strongly. Now, if you've been watching my videos for years, you know I have never been wrong. By the way, hey, right, wrong, it doesn't matter. But I have been able to predict some pretty big events, things that I knew were going to happen, and the pandemic was one of them. I said something huge is coming, get your house in order. And sure enough, that was way before anything happened. I knew it was the following year. Now I'm going to do the same thing right now. This is very special. I hope you'll pay attention to this because we have to go into a new era, and you and I are totally in control of that. So nothing bad happening, nothing bad, I promise you. You ready for this? Let's go. Welcome to Landria, Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through fears and live an amazing life. 2024 is going to be the kickoff of some major stuff we've never seen on this planet. Some of it's going to be mind-blowing good, and some people are going to be afraid of that, all right? And then other things are going to happen to sort of cleanse the earth. Not because there's punishment or anything like that, but we're creating. So if there's negativity or negative thoughts or beliefs or conflict with people, they will create and manifest certain negative, conflicting events. Let's put it that way. That will happen also because those are choices with the lower frequency egos. Don't participate in that. We're past the tipping point right now. We're going into it. You're going to see a lot of big challenges in a lot of big events, but it's as I shared with you last few months, I've been saying it's going to be a series of them. It's not going to be one big thing. It's going to be a series of this and this and this and this and this. All the things that aren't working will start to dissolve and collapse. The people that we have always looked to for answers, we're going to realize they're just human beings. Get cleaned up. Get everything simplified. Go into jobs and things you love. Get yourself situated financially. In other words, do what you feel, and if you tap into these thoughts that you hold, nobody's going to give you that answer. It's going to show up because you know you're doing it, okay? You're going to learn all this. We're going to talk more about this. Have you purchased my book? Because in here is the key to everything you need to know, and I really mean that. This was a totally downloaded book. I would get up at crazy hours and go write because I got this information, and I'm going to share that with you today. So if you want to support me and possibly change your life, this might be the last book you ever have to read. It'll take you in a space that's so massive. Now, why am I doing this? I want to equip you. I want to, maybe one little thing will open you up, and this whole new dimension is going to open up for you because you broke through the fear. It's called Breakthrough Fear, Your Spiritual Butt Kick. Who says that? I've had a lot of support with certain family members who do show up and step in with me and have let me know that they're there. They've given me very clear messages. Super clear messages. My dad's one of them, and my grandmother. And something recently has happened. I'm be interested to get your feedback. Again, remember, you're an individual. What you experience is your own breakthroughs that you are assigned, that you took on. I feel like they've stepped back. Big time. Big time. And I thought, why do I feel like this is happening? I want to share with you why I think we're going into something else powerful, and what you have to do We talk about the fifth dimension. These are all these words we use, but the truth is they're just frequencies. So here's how it works. We're in a pyramid, so to speak. Pyramids are powerful. We're down here. The lower you are in the pyramid, the more illusions you get, the more lessons, the more classes you take, right? Basic stuff. The more you shift in, and this is total free will, we have free will, the more you shift into higher frequencies, the fewer challenges and illusions you take on. You don't need them anymore. You've mastered them. You master. So even angels will be up here. They're still in illusion. They still are participating in our illusion. They've agreed to be part of it. So they're still part of that whole, illusions that all interact together. So even the other side is part of our illusion, but they're aware of what it is. We're becoming aware. So we came here in unconsciousness. We are going back into consciousness. That's the game, to go back into consciousness, because we learned what unconsciousness is to know consciousness, and we know that there are still a lot of people in deep density that want that. They want to experience it. We're not going to judge it. We don't know why, what it is they're doing, but we know that we can raise our frequency, and things are going to go on. You use them positively or negatively. It's not the tool. It's how we use everything, including our words, our thoughts, our beliefs. This is what we're going into. We have now gone through, and this is why we went through the whole crisis there for a few years. It allowed us to wake up. We've been preparing. We've been shook up. You're either going to go into that space where you're still hanging on to the material world in fear, and you're trying to keep it going, and you think that all the things we're losing is bad, or you recognize that we have to lose these things because that's the only way we can go into a new earth. Because these things haven't worked. We've been in conflict. None of it works. Not our financial institutions, our governments, none of it's working. How we treat our planet, what we eat, what we use, all of it is insanity. We're stepping into consciousness. So that means that if you don't choose consciousness, if you don't start making decisions now to change your life, what you eat, how you treat people, what you think, if you judge others, you will stay in that world. It will be your reality, and it is real. And you can tell me, Landria, this is what's happening. I'll say, yep, it is. In your reality. There are limitless realities. We're shifting now into a space where you have full control and acknowledgement and consciousness of what it is. You don't have to know the details. None of us can as human beings. We're not on that level. Our minds would blow up. What we're doing is going into a space that's so new, and it is all about your frequency. So all of these other backup systems and everything are starting to step back, because now we are going into the tipping point. You guys have read the book? Go back in and look at the tipping point. I talk about exactly what's happened, and we're going into it. It's happening. This is where the fires, the volcanoes, all these things. It is, as Greg Braden said, a natural phenomenon that's happening. The planet goes through these shifts, and we're naming it as bad. We're still naming everything bad. Everything has cycles. Everything's an opportunity for us to come together as community to repair. We never lose anything. We're shifting into that right now. And so it's big, and it's going to hit you in some areas that you have to change. And this is the biggest opportunity right now, is to shift into a completely different reality for yourself. What have you been doing that's keeping you in this struggle? What have you been doing that keeps you in that thinking? What are you doing that keeps you in poor relationships, bad jobs, lack? What story have you been holding on to that has limited you? It's not real unless you think it is. The illusion's breaking open. Is going to continue to challenge us, but what we're doing in it is what's so beautiful and great. And you're going to come out of this in an amazing, awakened, enlightened way, and you'll realize it just all makes sense, and it has purpose, and it doesn't feel good, but it's such a temporary space in eternity. And whatever you do right now is going to determine everything from your individual path that contributes to the collective, because there's no dividing line between anything. As Greg Braden said, this is all actually really good. It's necessary. And so now we have to take responsibility and say, you know what? I don't need somebody else to run my life. We are going to take charge. That's what we're going into. And that is why the backup systems, they're there, are allowing us, because we're going into power, they're allowing us to do that. And so you're going to have to rely on your intuition. Now I have a free class, as of this video, I have a free class with James Van Praagh, very cool guy, to teach you how to go into that space to get this information and to communicate with that other side. Not because they're going to do stuff for you, but because now you realize you hold that same power and you're going to start using it. And he's going to teach us how to do that. You want to do that? That if you're in my email list, and I'll put the email list here too. You can click on here, or you can go down in the description. I have it, and I have the link to his free class. We're going into our own power. So we don't sit there. By the way, prayer is very powerful. Prayer, but don't pray because you think you don't hold the power. We're praying now saying, I can create anything through the power of Source. That's from The Power of Positive Thinking by Norman Vincent Peale. Go take the free class by James Van Praagh. If it's outdated by the time you watch this video, I'll have a lot more cool stuff in these free videos that are in my email list. And know that if you're not getting answers from your angels or other side or whatever, what we do, and I teach my students, we go into what I call clarity. So I have you go into here because you have access to this information and you work with that field to gain your own clarity because you're doing it. It's all good. You signed up for this. We signed up for this, you and I together. We're not a big team compared to the multiverses, I should say. All right, please subscribe. I really, really could use your support here. Please tell YouTube that you like these videos. If you do, if you don't, then that's okay too. And the James Van Praagh link's down there. So I hope you'll come join us. It's really cool. I'm very excited about this. Very cool guy. You're whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Blessings to you, my friend. Namaste.